take them with a 75 anymore. Dave, nice to hear you in there tonight.
Yeah, okay, George. Thanks. Yeah, good to hear you. You sounded good. I hope you're feeling a little better there. So, anyway, just about the Nashville Cat Line,
Yeah, I wonder if Charles is around yet.
KW60. Anybody copy?
We hear you. Diego, Charles, go ahead.
Yeah, W6YEC in the group KW6G. I hear J6W, I guess. Dave and Tarzana. And KW1NG. And who else is in there?
Well, let me give you the list as I think I have it, as I think it is. KW1NG, Ken starts it off. And then KI6CSA, Chris. Then Phil, N6WHK. And then my name, and Paul. And then Dave, WJ6W, unless somebody else joined and I missed it.
Yeah, stand by, I'm still writing it. Yeah, okay,
Chris came on the air first.
KW1NG, Ken. KI6CSA, Chris. N6WHK, Phil. W6YEC, George. And WJ6W, Dave. Is that correct?
WJ6W is Dave. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so I can't read my own handwriting. Good evening, everyone. This is Charles, KW6G, your net control operator for the Drake West Coast Net. This net meets every Thursday evening around 8 o'clock for an hour or so of chatting about mostly Drake radios, but we basically talk about anything. You don't have to rerun in Drake radios to check into this net. Just desire to, participate in the conversation. That's all we care about. It's open to everybody. I'm running the ICOM IC7610 this evening. Driving a Elecast KPA 500 linear, about 400 watts, with a KAT 500 antenna tuner. And an NSAT half wave up about 30 feet. So that's what we're running this evening. Still dealing with a noise problem next door. I got to get my news noise canceller over on the Drake bench and hooked up on the S line, not the S line, the Drake C line. See if we can't get this thing moving a little bit more Drake-ish from the net control operator standpoint. But that thing only runs about 100 watts, and with the conditions being what they are lately, maybe you guys might not be able to hear me. So I'm on the high-powered rig this evening. Anyway, that's about it. Eye is doing well. The left eye is doing well, and we're into like week 2 of recovery on that one, and we're into like week, I think, 6 or 7 on the right eye, which is, I guess, fully healed now. So vision is good. I saw the doctor on Tuesday. So all that's working out okay. Hopefully another couple of 3 weeks, life will get back to normal around here, and I'll be able to start doing some more yard work and running around doing other stuff that I usually do. Right now, we're just taking it easy and, playing with the grandson a little bit on a daily basis. But he's going to be leaving our care here the first of the month because his mom's going on maternity leave. She's going to have a little girl, our second grandchild, around the end of July. And so they're going to be taking care of the kid, both kids, for the rest of the year at their house. So we'll see how that works out. We're probably going to wind up taking the little guy a couple of days a week, but she wants to bond with the kids, so I can't blame her. Anyway, so we're going to be getting our retirement back, as they say, but we got some projects going on here. We got to rebuild a couple of bathrooms, and the wife's talking about getting new windows. That's going to be expensive, so, that kind of stuff. But, it's only money, right? So, let's go in this order then, since I got the list from George. I think it's pretty good. Start off with KW1NG Ken, and then KI6CSA, Chris will be next. So Ken pass it to Chris, and then Chris pass it to Phil, N6WHK. And then Phil pass it to George, W6YEC, and then George pass it to Dave, WJ6W, and then Dave pass it back to me unless we pick up someone else along the way. And I'll say this before I start here. Let's see, is there anyone else who wants to check in the Drake West Coast net? Come now, please.
WA6, Jacks, Kings, and 9s.
Okay, you'll be after Dave, Kevin, WA6JKN. Anyone else? Negative. So Dave will pass it to Kevin and Kevin back to me. So go ahead, Ken. KW1NG. This is KW6D for the Drake West Coast net. Go ahead.
Okay, did you get Paul in there?
No, where's Paul?
Yeah, K2LMQ.
Okay, K2LMQ. We'll sorry I missed you. I guess Kevin was too strong. So why don't you take it after Kevin? Kevin pass it to Paul, and then Paul pass it back to me. Okay, Paul? Paul, do you copy? Can I get
Paul, you're at the end of the list after Kevin, JKN.
Thanks, and I need you to... Okay, I'll pick up after Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll probably hear Kevin. Very good, Charles. Thank you. Good evening to the net. I don't have any Drake here yet. Looking for a TR4 CW or CWRIT. They're kind of scarce as hen's teeth, so if anybody knows of one, just let me know. I'd love to add that to the station. I do have enough room on the shelf for one more rig, and I think that would be the best one to add. The other one I was considering would be like an TS820 or 830, but I've never had a TR4, so I thought maybe that would be good. I did have a TS520 when they first came out. I was working at Gary Radio. This was about 1974, 1975, something like that. And we started carrying them, and I was playing with it out on the showroom floor, and I went, oh, I got to have one of these. So I had a nice employee discount, and I could pay over time, so I talked to Gary Pierce and said, I want to buy one of those. And he said, sure. And so that was mine, and I had it for a long time until I got married and got kids and got a business and was going to school, and oh man, I was so busy, and we needed money, so sold all the gear, and have wanted it ever since, because it was a great little rig. I really liked it, that TS520. Very good. Had a nice day here. We did a lot of work and took a nice long nap. I guess I slept through the UPS driver trying to deliver something. I had ordered a new phone from Amazon, and I got a sticker on the door that UPS had been here. So I guess I slept through his doorbell. But we have dogs, as you have heard, and they howl and bark if the doorbell rings. So I sometimes wonder if those guys actually do press the doorbell, or if they just walk up, throw a sticker on the door, and leave. I don't know why they would do that, because they have to come back, but it just seems like that's what happens. All right, let's pass it on to Chris. How was your day? KI6CSA, KW1NG.
beautiful day. I spent all day in the hospital, doing medical. They really working on my kidneys and my bladder, which is obviously a problem. So they ran a bunch of tests on those. I'm not going to go into that because it's a little on the crude side, but that's okay. I guess they've gotten done what they wanted to get done and found out the information they wanted to find out. And I got to go back in next Monday, Tuesday to see the doctor and get the results of all the tests they've done. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been having a problem with my bladder and kidneys here for a little while, and I'm hoping to get that straightened away. Anywho, good deal on the ice. Yeah, I had both of mine done, and I'll be honest with you, I'm so much better for it than what I was. The only thing is my eye specialist told me to wear sunglasses as much as I could outside to keep the bright sun out my eyes. And so I wear sunglasses 90% of the time when I'm outside. And I've just gotten the habit of doing it, and I just normally do it now. And they've replaced both lenses on me, and I'm much better off for it. And keep everything the same. I'm running with Swan 350 Delta tonight, and through the Ameritron, running them now to about 250 watts, somewhere in that area. So that's operating here, and the conditions. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my neighbor, W620AP and 6WHK.
Yeah, okay, Phil, hold on a minute. I was listening on the 75A4. I forgot this. Yeah, this is doing the standby here on the I'm in the TR4 position. I've got it hooked up in a way where it'll mute on me, but I'm using it with the KWM2. All right, everybody, sounding beautiful. Welcome aboard, the last three there, especially the last two. Kevin, hasn't heard you for a while, so nice to have you in there. Paul, beautiful signal as usual. So, congratulations to you, Charles, on the getting the eyes done with the cataract surgery. I've done that too, and it does make a huge difference. You have a lot of gratitude afterwards when your eyes come back into some level of clarity and you're able to see colors again. And so, congratulations. Yeah, Ken, I've said it before, the TS520 Sugar is my favorite radio. And I took mine up from a guy up in L.A., a famous ham named Bernie, who was the head of studios up there, and cinema photography, and we put it out on a repeater. Started it on an LA repeater, but it was on a San Diego repeater. And it's the radio I've been thinking about. That was 1979, I think I bought that for me. The TS520 with the digital readout and all of that. And so that was wonderful. So over the years, the 520's become my favorite vintage radio. I've had the 530s and the 830s, and they're beautiful radios and favorites too. But the 520 as a vintage radio is really at the top of the list for me. So just that comment. Anyway, we're on the TR4 tonight, straight TR4. We do have an RV4, so we can do split if we need to. And we're running through the 30L1 at about 600 watts out there to our coaxial flat top up about 35 feet. So no sooner resident antenna here on 75. And had my neighbor come over and help me fix a desk that I have here, a shelf that has a dent part to it. And it has broken, and from the weight of power supplies, I think, over the years. So that got all fixed, and I was working on the HW16 today, trying to get a little CW rig up and running. And got it going, found out what was wrong. got that thing going, and maybe add my DFO. I'll look quickly in the mountain area of the CW band, you know, in the CW area there, 7025 up to about 7070, and then 38, 25 up to about 36 or 3700 in that range there, whereas most of the CW things come. Anyway, and so you've got that set up over there on that desk. That's going to be fun to operate. Once they get past the scene of the shingles, it's still hanging on. I forget what the technical name is, but it's turned on a lot longer than it should have. But we're hanging in there. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Saturday, we're going to field day over at N6TYS house. And I'm going to be operating a go-to rig. It'll be my 7000, and probably have it hooked up to the tri-bander. And Mike and Rob will be portable using batteries. I might be using solar. I don't know yet with the 7000. But one way or the other, we're going to be on the air on Saturdays. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, that's it. Let me move it on to Dave. WJ6W, take it away, W6Y.
Very good. Boy, George, you are busy. You're illness there, and we sure hope that it's somewhat decreasing. And we'll soon much better. Anyway, so great on field day, and all the work you did today. Boy, you make me feel embarrassed. I can't think of any accomplishment I made today. So you keep yourself busy there. Charles, good on the eye surgery. I haven't needed that yet, but my doctor says I have cataracts, but they're mild, and I think the only effect I have right now is headlights on cars sometimes. Well, always kind of a storm pattern is what I see. So other than that, I guess I'm okay for the time being. And let's see, Bill. Well, hope your tests turn out well, and we're in our thoughts. Glad to have you back with us. Pretty regular, and on sunglasses, you know, it's been my habit to wear sunglasses almost all the time when I go outside. I don't know why, but that's just been my habit forever, and certainly when I'm driving, almost every time, unless it's really rough cloudy. Anyway, and Chris, oh boy, I'm sorry I let the cat out of the bag on the dog fit. Wow. The surprise is over. For George, I thought you found it surprise, George. I kind of assumed you knew about it. Anyway, I sure like your description, Chris, of them as the 57 Chevy of ham radio. Maybe I won't give them that. Maybe I won't pass them along to you. Anyway, that's a good description. They look great in a 57 Chevy, too, wouldn't they? Okay, well, let's see. I think that's all I have. I'm going to make a one and done here tonight, and listen for just a few minutes. But I'm going to have to do something with the wife here pretty soon. And I think you want me, Charles, to turn it over to Kevin, probably, so I will. WA6JKN, WJ6W.
Yeah, it's a little very light. Sorry to be late.
Yeah, we got Skip in there, LGL, so we got to get him on the list. Probably goes right after Paul. A2LMQ, Skip. We'll have Paul probably turn it over to you if that's okay with Charles. Charles, can I get a confirmation on that? Over?
Yeah, QSL, Skip, you go after Paul, and then it's back to me, so you're last on the list there, Skip. So go ahead, Kevin. WA6JKN, KW6G. By the way, you're 20 over.
Oh, thank you very much. You're doing the likewise big signal tonight. But everybody else is pretty weak. I was quite surprised. Skip's probably the loudest station from the south. and that's unusual for Skip. He's usually not too strong, but tonight he's the strongest station from the south, stronger than, well, wait a minute, let me back up. The only one he wasn't stronger than was Ken. Ken had a really nice signal. I didn't write down the signal strength, but just from what I remember volume-wise, but Skip was really close to you, Ken, and both you guys were way stronger than everybody else down there. Okay, Chris had the weakest signal, and let's see, Phil. Phil, you were doing pretty good too. You were, I would say, number 3, the third strongest from the south down there. And then, of course, you have George, Chris, and whoever else down there. Okay, so, oh boy, let's see what else is going on here. Good to hear Paul in there. K2LMQ, you're not as loud as you normally are, but definitely Q5. And let's see, of course, Charles, he's really strong here tonight. Yeah, we're still on vacation. Yeah, we won't be done with vacation until probably, it looks like we're slipping about 2 weeks. Probably looks like probably the end of July, maybe August, early August. We still got 2 more trips that's on the calendar. We're going to head out to Ogden, Utah here. Let's see, what's the date today? Let me take a look at the calendar. Yeah. So it looks like within the next week, we're going to head off to Ogden, Utah, and go to the Hill Air Force Base. They got that big air show out there. That's pretty impressive. And there's some things that we want to stop and do along the way. And then we're going to head out to Texas for it's boat season, so we're going to be out on the lake and enjoying all that stuff with the barbecues and what have you. And probably, we like to do the antique stuff, so that's a must. We always pick up 1 or 2 really cool looking items along the way, because they got some of the best antique stores and thrift shops. I call them thrift shops. They probably have better names for them in Texas. It's unreal what they have there. George probably knows about that. I know George used to live in Texas. And Chris, I'm in a QSO. You got to stop texting. Man, oh man alive, give it a break. Let's see, what else? Yeah, the only thing that I've been playing with lately, I've been buying some technology stuff for ham radio. I bought one of those 6 to 8 gig tiny, no, they call it, what do they call that thing? The VNA. It's got a 4-inch screen on it. Boy, that thing is something else. And it communicates with my iPhone. And so that really makes it a useful tool for being an analysis tool for antennas. Because if you're working on your antenna, you don't have to run back in the shack or do anything. It communicates to your iPhone. You can see everything you want. You can access and have it do whatever you want. It's got a time domain reflectometer built in and all that stuff, which is used to tell you the length of a cable. And I also picked up one of those 12 gig tiny spectrum analyzers. And I think it's pretty cool. It also has a 4-inch screen on it, so I've been using that to go up and down the neighborhood and find out who has all the dirty inverters for their solar panels, and every one of them does. Every one of them is so dirty, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. The school put up like 100 to 300 solar panels over there, and they're across the field, and the good news is I reported it, and within a month they went out there and whatever was causing it, they fixed it. So I'm happy about that. But the local neighborhood solar panels they're getting this stuff free from California or whatever. It's junk. It's all junk. They're so noisy. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. The ARRL says you can call a number with the FCC and they can come out and they'll cite the residents and they'll have to notify their power company or whatever to get it fixed, because apparently a lot of the Chinese have non-compliant switching regulators or whatever they're called. So anyway, that's a learning process for me. But I'll tell you that portable handheld 4-inch screen spectrum analyzer really helped out looking for all the dirty signals in the neighborhood. Now there's one house that has a pretty big ugly signal coming from it, but I'm not going to deal with them because I think it's they're part of the Nuestra Familia. It's a part of the drug cartel, so you don't want to mess with them. They're at the end of the block. So, yeah, they can keep doing what they're doing. I don't want no trouble from them. All right, so there you go. Let's get it over to, let's see, I turned it over to Paul there. K2LMQ, over to you, Paul. A long time no hear. And turn it over to Skip, K6LDL. This is WA6 Jacks, Kings, and Nines. Kevin and Gilroy.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Hello. 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 Hang on a sec. Give it a second, it'll be okay. WA6 JKN in the gang. K2LMQ, Paul and Kingman. Good evening, all. Signals are lousy, and the reason my signal was down was because I hadn't turned on the amplifier. And just wait till you guys get to this age. Anyway, good evening, all. Good to hear everybody. Signals are not good tonight. The strongest ones are from Kevin and Ken. Ken is by far the strongest one, and George, and everybody else is down a little bit. And the static, atmospheric static level here is over 5.9, so it's very difficult. There's no storm here in the area, but it's a couple of 100 miles north of me or something. But boy, that static is really coming through. I'm running the TR7 into the SB220 and running about 500 watts peak into the inverted V at 75 feet. Beautiful day here today. It was up in the high 90s, but had a nice breeze, and it's been that way. The next week is supposed to have temperatures up as high as 107 or something, but we'll see. It keeps changing. And that's pretty much the story here. Let's see. So let's give it to Skipper and see what's going on in Santa Monica these days. K6LGL, K2LMQ.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. K2LMQ, and Space Match K6LGL, thank you. Sorry we got tied up doing other things. So I'm trying to set up so I can see KSS on my mobile receiver, on my cell phone. But that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that K-Box is quite a treasure there. Okay, everybody. I didn't get a chance to hear your piece of Dance's equipment.
Chris, so hopefully I'll stay in for one more round there. And Kevin, good to hear you in there. Well, you know, conditions were peculiar. Some summer winds. Since my antenna is now working as it should, with the feed line at 90 degrees to the back in my homebrew doublet, at least my impedance matches proper. For a while there was line parallel to the antenna, and the match was totally split up, and usually I was about 4 to 1, and radiation pattern really stunk. So a little modification sure helped. All right, I'll keep it short. Pass it back to you, Charles. And so I'll stay in for one round there. So, over to you there, Charles. And hey, thanks for doing the next K6LG.
K6LG on the group KW6G. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Skip. You're 5 and 9 here, by the way. Let's get out a few signal reports here before I forget. Ken and George and Kevin were all 20 over, and then Paul was 10 over, and let's see, Phil and Dave and Skip were all 5'9", and Chris was on 5'6", 5'7". And I got a low noise level here with the noise canceller. I'm looking at like S1 or S2. So everybody's very copyable this evening by the radio, direct by the radio. But I also have the SDR on in the background here. So at KFS, so I can copy anybody if things go down into the noise. But I don't think that's going to happen this evening anyway. Okay, yeah, thanks, Phil, for the tip on the sunglasses. Yeah, I noticed that it gets a little intense when you go outside without your sunglasses now. Yeah, you get used to not wearing them because you don't need them, or you wear the regular glasses or whatever. I got some transition lenses that I always wear, but it takes a little time to darken, say, as you step outside, so I'm going to have to definitely get some new glasses, I think. But the far away distance is really sharp, and so things are working out really well here, and I'm glad of that. And Phil, I hope you get over your kidney problems there. You get some medicine and some positive feedback from the doc here on Monday. As for old rigs, I used to have a TS-820S, and I ran that rig as a primary rig for 22 years, and I love that radio. I bought it when I got out of college, before I got married, and I kept that radio all through those years. We had bought a new house, and we had little kids and everything, and I was running it with a butternut vertical. When I was living at home, with my parents, I had a cubicle quad up at 35 feet, and then I had a windstorm, and the quad blew down, but it was ready to go anyway. So then I bought a KLM KT-34A, and it's still in the box because I met this girl and got married. Now I was the end of the KT-34A, and I'm still waiting for a place to put that up. But who knows? We may have to move again before long. That's how crazy California is coming. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? My kids are talking about leaving, so they leave, I'll leave. So maybe I'll get in the QTH where I can put the KT-34A up. And let's see, no field day for me this year because of the eye situation. You got to be careful. It's only a week and a half out since the surgery on the left eye, so got to be a little careful about that. So we're going to stick close to home and maybe do a little CW work on my IC705, the battery, and call it quits on that one. So that's about it for field day for this QTH, or this operator, I should say. It's last year's field day was kind of cold. I was out in the backyard working people. It's 8, 9 o'clock at night. I put on my jacket and said, heck with this, and went in, and that was the end of field day last year. It was unseasonably cool last year on that day. But this year, the weatherman says 100 degrees at this QTH. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be 92 tomorrow, and I believe it because it's getting that way again. I know what's going on, and it's going to be that way. I think it's going to be another warm weekend, shall we say. So that's about it for me. Oh, George, hope you know the shingles. My dad had the shingles years ago when he was, I guess, about 75, 80 years old, about your age, I guess. And yeah, it's no fun. And it takes longer to get over sometimes, but hopefully you'll round the bend and get on the road to recovery. Oh, and the TR4CWRIT is a great rig. I have one. I've had one for about 10 years now. I bought it off eBay and didn't get that great a price on it. I think I paid $1,000 for it, but that is a good radio. And I got the RB4C VFO with it, and I usually run the net with that, but since my local noise problem, I haven't been running the Drake gear. I've been running the ICOM stuff, so maybe I'll get that back on the air next week or something. But it's a great radio. I love that radio, and I also have a Drake C-line sitting here and a Drake 2B receiver and my other QTH up in near Grass Valley. When I get up there these days, I have a Drake Novice station and a Drake TR4, which is in mint condition, and a Drake A-line. So I like Drake radios. I've collected them over the years. And you know, and I always live by the one motto that you can never have too many radios. So anyway. Okay, I've taken enough of your time. You guys are probably tired of listening to me. Let's go for one more round here. Make this a 73 round because it is 35 after the hour, and we're supposed to be clear by 9 o'clock here, and I think other people have things to do. So we'll go in the same order and pick up anyone else who wants to step in here. In the meantime, they can just break in, and we'll put them at the end of the list. So we'll start off with Ken, and then Ken over to Chris, and Chris to Phil, and Phil to George. And I believe Dave signed out, George, so you might pass it over to Kevin then. And then Kevin to Paul, and then Paul to Skip, and then back to me for the final. So go ahead, Ken. KW1NG is KW6G for the Drake West Coast Net. Is there a break? Yeah, you're about 5'8" here, 5'8" here, John. Not too strong, and welcome, and good evening. You know, I had a QSO with Rick and Tom earlier, right before the net. It was a really quick one, so not too much going on there. So, okay, John, we put you in at the end of the list there, and we'll start off with Ken, KW1NG, KW6G. Go ahead.
Okay, Charles, very good. KW6G in the group. KW1NG. Well, very good. Everybody's copyable. S8 is about the minimum signal, and, well, George, because of his proximity, he's about 30 over. So, good spread of signal strength there. And glad to hear him getting out quite well. I love this Delta loop. It's really working great. Very good. Well, yeah, my eye doctor prescribed me to wear sunglasses because I was starting to develop cataracts. So that has really slowed it down since I've done that. That was years ago. And they say, yeah, they're still developing, so we'll not do anything yet, but keep wearing the sunglasses outside. That seems to work. George, do you know about that something or other 4 that builds the FT243 crystals? You can buy them online. They're $22 each, so you probably won't get too many of them, but you can get them, and he's got a list of frequencies there. I forgot the website, but just search FT243 crystals, and he pops up. Yeah, looking for that TR4CW. There aren't any out there for sale that I can see right now, but yeah, that'd be a good addition. I'll go for that. Let's see. I'll work some field day stations. I'm not planning to go anywhere, but Saturday morning I have a Zoom meeting with my family back in Massachusetts. They have a wing family corporation that has an annual meeting and so forth. They maintain the wing house there that was built in 1640, and we have a corporation that takes care of it. It's a museum now. All kinds of neat stuff in it. So we have our annual meeting there at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'll be doing that Saturday morning. So I'll hang around the QTH. I will work some field day stations. Let's see. Tomorrow night I host the CCA net. This frequency, 7 o'clock, the Collins Collector Association net. I'll be hosting it, and all are invited. So come on in and say hi. All right, that's about it for me. Pass it down to Chris, KI6DSA, and the group, 73's all KW1NG.
KW1NG, KI6DSA. Very good, Ken. Everybody's pretty good. This is been holding up over here. Sunglasses. I wear sunglasses when I go outside because I got blue eyes. My wife knows she's got white eyes. I wear sunglasses. Yeah, and I don't. It's really light and so expensive. And I don't know if that does or not. So anyway, everybody have a good weekend. We'll talk to some of you guys on the Swan net. I know I'll hear Skip there. So we'll think that's working out. I'll hand it over to you, Phil.
KI6DSA and 6WHK. Well, fine business all the way around. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do any field day either. I was planning on it. I was had everything ready to go. Then I got a message from my daughter-in-law. It's the whole family is coming. My son, his wife, my two granddaughters, my grandson, my granddaughter's two kids, and their husband. And they'll be arriving either tomorrow or, tomorrow, I believe. So I'm kind of not going to be able to do field day this year. This will be the first year that I've never done anything for field day. So until they get here, I will work a few stations, and that's about all I can do. Work a few stations in the home QTH. But I don't think that'll be too many. Tomorrow I'm going to go over and see George and drop off some stuff with him about 10 o'clock. And that's going to be it from me. So with that, I'm going to say adieu. Everybody have a good one. Beautiful copy on everybody tonight. No problem at all copying. So with that, over to George, W6YEZ. Good night, gentlemen. November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo.
Okay, Phil. Sure glad you were here. We'll miss you on Saturday, W6YEC. Hey, bring that booster tomorrow, too, okay? In case I'm using a battery, I'd like to have that booster and see how it works. Get my 13.8 volts off the battery. All right, appreciate it. See you in the morning. And very good. You have to tell us more sometime, Kent, on the Wing Museum. I didn't know about that. So that was new. Cool. And find out tomorrow, I'll do our best to be down here with the KW M2 turned on and the 30L1, like I have it on tonight. And see who checks into the Collins net tomorrow. And, I know about that crystal, but that's too much money. I need to find some that, I can get. It doesn't cost me anything. And I've got a VFO, so when I get feeling better here, I might put the VFO on and see how stable it is. And figure out how to make sure the VFO is keyed. And then just see the rate of the VFO will be sitting there plugged in. I think there's a jack in the back for a VFO, so we'll do it that way. and I've got a VFO with its own power supply, a VF1, and I think it was pretty stable when I was using it. I haven't used it for a while because I was operating Crystal on AM with my home brew setup, and real good. Let's see, that's my note. Welcome, John. Good copy on you down here in San Diego. Not real loud, but copyable. So you're going to follow Skip. So I think Skip will turn to you. W160, if I got that right. Hope that's correct. All right, Kevin. On your ongoing vacation. Wow. I've never heard of a person that has the length of vacation you do. Yeah. So it'll be special when you get back to just being Kevin and doing the normal stuff. Well, you guys enjoy yourself. Be safe on the road and what have you. Boy, Texas is getting hammered with the weather. My son who lives down, my son-in-law and daughter who live down there in Sweetwater on our property, he just got hired by in Big Spring. He's been hired by a Bible college just for the blind, and he's going to be working for the college and pastoring the church there, or for the deaf, I should say, not the blind, the deaf. He's deaf, and that's what they've done over the years. Ministered in Mexico to deaf children, and at a ranch there that we were involved with, and ham radio was at the core of it. This was back many years ago, and they planted a church for the deaf there in Sonata. So they've been wondering what's next on their ministry agenda. They're empty nesters now. Their kids are all out of the house. One married, and one in the Navy, and two girls in university down there in Austin, I think. Anyway, and so that opened up for them. They're pretty excited. We're excited with them. And he's going to be the pastor there at that deaf church. And my daughter will bring the children's ministry, and she also signs and speaks fluent Spanish, as far as that part goes. Anyway, that's what's going on in Sweetwater, Texas, where they live in that area of Texas. But Texas itself has been inundated with weather. I've got friends in Houston, and boy, oh boy, have they been hit. And I don't know how far up this last storm coming off the Gulf, how far it went into Texas, but that was a heavy one on the Gulf. So, yeah, it's been a good net here tonight. I'll say my 73 from San Diego, and everybody have a good evening. And, yeah, I'm hoping here that pretty soon this after effect of the shingles will disappear, because it is quite challenging. There's no getting around it. And I don't like being a complainer. I don't like talking about those things, but it has really altered some areas. So I was looking to get my strength back. I was doing pretty good before this shingles hit, and I've been walking from the house down to my radio room office, which is about 200 feet away, and it's a downhill thing, but going back it's uphill. I quit using my scooter for a while because I wanted to get my legs built up, get them stronger. And I'm back to the scooter now, and because I've lost some strength going through this thing. 73s, everybody. Have a good evening. And let's see. I will pass it on to Kevin, since Dave signed it and had something to do with this climate thing. Schedules or what have you. WA6JKN. Yeah, you're only an S sign down here tonight, Kevin. So it's all bad conditions. Take it away. W6YEC.
Okay, well, I'll probably have to swing the beam in your direction there, George. Okay, very good. Yeah, well, what it all started, with the vacation, it all kind of started with, we got this map, and you could scratch off the states that you visited, okay? Not just traveled through, but actually been there for a day or two, and And it doesn't count that Diane's been to some states without me, and I've been to some states without her. Yeah, it's all business related, you know, when that happens. So we decided that what we were going to do is only scratch off those states on this beautiful map of the U.S., and we finally realized that there's a lot of places that both of us haven't been. So that's what we're doing. We're scratching off the states. And so what's going to come up starting next year, because it's going to be our 50th wedding anniversary. Yeah, we've been married almost 50 years now. So what we're going to do is the map tells us there's a lot of states to the north and going back east. So the top half of the U.S. That we haven't been. Okay, then that includes, believe it or not, Mount Rushmore now. I think Diane's been there, but I haven't. So we're going to do it together. That's the key. So we got to do all those states that we haven't been together. You know, so just you know, I guess I could list them off, like Oregon, Washington, Indiana, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, and Nebraska. Now Minnesota has got some really good German food, so I want to take Diane to some of the restaurants there because they just have fabulous German food there. And then we'll drop down to Iowa, and we don't know about Illinois. I think we're going to kind of stop there, cut back, go to Kansas. We have a granddaughter that's out there at the Army base out there. Then we'll drop down through Oklahoma and then back to Texas, and then head back through New Mexico, Arizona, and California, unless we decide to go all the way up to New Hampshire, Maine, or something like that. Just depends on the time of year and if we so desire. Because if you've ever been to Maine, they do have the Lobster Festival that goes on up there. It's located like near Camden, Maine, and man, that's a nice little port, small, beautiful area. And they have what's called the Lobster Festival, and of course I don't know if I can get Diane to go there because I don't think she's real big on lobster, but I am. I can eat that stuff all day long. So we'll see what happens. But we do definitely want to hit all the upper states and start off in Yellowstone and stuff like that. Just head across. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Now we were thinking about getting like an RV or something like that, and I said, you know what? We have not done travels with an RV. Why start now? We'll just stay in all of the Hilton family hotels across the United States. That's the only way to do it. You got clean showers, clean rooms, and they're dog friendly. So the dogs are coming with us. All right, so that's the story there. Let's get it over to, let's see, goes over to Paul, and I will say signals have gone up. Not much, but I did notice an increase during the last round. 73 to everyone, and the next time you probably hear me, maybe not, I will be operating mobile, remote on my iPhone. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention to you that I now have remote CW, Charlie Whiskey. There's a guy in Idaho that designed a little box that's really, really small, put a knob on it, so it gives my iPhone the ability to have like a small interface like a radio. So it has a knob, so I can turn the knob, so I have the touch and feel the knob. It'll change frequencies. I got a bunch of buttons on this thing that could change the modes and the power settings and filters and all that stuff. It's just remarkable. And it communicates with my iPhone. And the best part of it that I like is I have a miniature bencher, it's kind of like a bencher, CW key, that plugs into this unit, and it allows me to operate Charlie Whiskey using my iPhone, and there's zero latency. I don't know how this guy did it. Zero latency. I know there's latency when it's transmitting, but the side tone part, you don't hear that latency, so it doesn't confuse you. So anyway, I'm really excited about it. I'm going to have my paddles with me to operate Charlie Whiskey. All right, enough of that. Excuse me. Over to you, Paul. K2LMQ 73, everybody. Good night. WA6JKN.
WA6JKN and the gang, K2LMQ. Beautiful. Oh man, I'm impressed with that, Kevin. Last time I worked CW Mobile was back when I was in my 20s, and I had the MCX3 in the car, and I had a leg strap with a straight key on it. Worked great, especially on long drives, kept me company, and it just worked out good. And fine on your vacation. That's very envious. I mean, just the German food alone is very envious, and it sounds like you're going to have a great time. And if you happen to come across I-40 on the way home, give me a call ahead of time and come on by for a few minutes or something, or I'll meet you out at the Petro or something like that. Anyway, bye on everybody all around. Signals have come up. The last strong one was Kevin was 25 over 9, which is a far cry from what it was a bit ago. And that's it. And Ken, you mentioned running the Collins net tomorrow night. I have my exciters are not working, the KWM2A and the 32S3. But I have a 30L1 working. I have a 30S1 here that I haven't used in a couple of years because I'm always with the SP220. And if I can get that thing working, I'll show up tomorrow night. That'd be a good incentive for me. And that's about it. Good to hear everybody and what's going on, and that Phil and George and everybody who's a bit under the weather are doing better, and so on and so forth. So I'll say 73s, and if not tomorrow night, I'll see you guys on next week sometime. So you all take care and have a good weekend. We have 100-degree weather coming up for the next 7 days in a row, or something like that. So 73s, and over to Skipper, K6LGL, K2LMQ, and thanks for running the net. God, the name went out. You know what I mean. Thanks for running the net. 73. Okay, Paul, thank you. K2LMQ. And among the last of the DoseNet, second K6LGL. Very good. Yeah, talking about mobile CW, I remember W6AM there at his old location, his Cadillac, and his kilowatt CW transmitter had a bug on the right side here. There had one of the, I think a classic bug. He used to run mobile CW in his Cadillac on, I think, 75, maybe 40 meters, I forget. That was a W6AM installation. Now, that was back in the early 70s sometime when it was so long. All right, interesting various things, Kevin. Sounds like quite a trip you're planning there. I visited most of the national parks in '62. I drove my at that time in 1962, a 53 Flathead 8 Pontiac. A Flathead A-line 8. Was an interesting one. It was a bit of an oil burner, but SVP helped in those days. So I put on about 8,000 or 9,000 miles on that particular trip, and we visited mostly national parks. And this is before all the interstate highways were completed. So we came back on Route 66 and took alternate ways, including to Rutherland Pass, Colorado, and 11,000. Anyway, it was a lot of fun country. This is a great country, all kinds of stuff. New England, parts of New England are amazing. St. Maine, the Florida Keys, and, and the Atlantic Coast, various places, Midwest, and the Great Lakes areas. If you can send it, you know it is fantastic. And then I kind of like the Great American Northwest and Southwest. My favorite places. West of the Continental Divide. That's where I think some of the greatest stuff is. Anyway, I went up to 108 or whatever it's called as Kentucky. I'm skipped K6LGO in Santa Monica. So if not, maybe somebody else can call him in case he may not be able to hear me. So, that's the 73s. Got to look for you on Saturday on the Swan.net, 38 to 95, 7:30 p.m. local time. I'll try to check in on the Collins group, Ken. I'll see if I can make it. I'm kind of on a tight schedule. That's why I was late today. I got such a backlog of things that I have to do that, it makes it hard. So, to the last second, I think he's up in Northern California. Go ahead and give it a try. And let's see, I'm probably a little off frequency. Let me set it back on 95 here. There we go. And back to dials just a little bit. So, Becky, I think it's K108 or something like that. K6LGL, Santa Monica.
WI60 in the group KW6G. Good evening, John. Welcome to the DrakeNet. Hopefully you can check in more often. Your 50 watts is barely making it to the Bay Area. Rough copy, but I did get that you're looking for, you got a problem with that cable coming out of the TR7's power supply. And I don't know if you have a schematic or anything on that, but if you're looking for information, WB4HFN's website for the Drake is got a lot of excellent documentation. Probably has something which you might need if you're looking for a schematic. Or it's also got resources for parts and things for like plugs and things that you can get. Anyway. We can talk more about that when we meet on CW there in the morning, or maybe tomorrow evening when things are a little bit better conditions. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to close the net at this time because everyone else is gone. We had about 10 check-ins this evening. Good net. Thanks to everybody for their participation and continued interest. It's always appreciated. And we'll see you guys here next week for another edition of the Drake West Coast Net at 8 o'clock and on 3895. By the way, today is the summer solstice. It's the longest day in the year, so the 8 o'clock check-in time makes sense because everything, the band was in pretty good shape for me. At least I copied everybody direct, which is not usually the case until later on in the net because we have the sunset issue with the propagation on the lower bands. Anyway, you guys take care. 70 trees. Have a great field day, and hope it all works out for everybody. You guys take care, and we'll see you next week. This is KW6G closing the net, returning the frequency to normal amateur use, saying 70 trees to everyone, and a very good evening. And thanks again, John, for stopping by. Sorry conditions weren't that good. You take care. We'll see you in the morning for a little CW and a little coffee there. Hi. Take care. 70 trees, everybody. KW6G. Good evening. We're going to be QRT.